Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Okay, so this morning it's Sunday morning and we're back on the Mini again. So we're at the stage now where we've basically been over the car, kind of dressed everything back ready. So we're nearly ready for rolling it over. We're going to roll it over onto its side and basically stone chip all the underneath, but that's all got to be cleaned up before we paint it, before we stone chip it. But one more little job we've got to do before we roll over, and that's over here. We've got these arches going on. So what I actually did yesterday was made up all these little brackets. I don't know if you can see those very well, but yeah, so I made those up and basically used polyester resin and some fiberglass mat just to stick those in. And there was a couple of repairs in the corners where these were second hand. And you can see there where someone had cut them to make them fit, so don't need to do that because these are actually Miglia ones, Miglia arches, so they actually sit up a little bit on the car, so yeah, so I don't know why they were cut. And this one had a crack in it as well, so yeah, so I've repaired that from behind. Yeah, so next job is to basically put these in place, mark up where the holes are and drill the holes in the body, and then we'll be ready to roll the body over. Okay guys, that's the arches done on that side. So basically you can see I just drilled through the wings and then the rear body panel as well for that rear arch. And then I used M4 stainless nuts and bolts going through there. Yep, so you can see it's quite easy to reach the nut on the other side. I just struggling a little bit with my fingers to get the nuts on, mainly due to my age. A bit of arthritis in my fingers now, and it's a little bit nippy in here this morning. So yeah, it's a little bit fiddly. But hey, I've got there. They're on. I don't know what you guys think of them. So I think they look quite cool in the car. They're certainly chunky, but we'll be running a little bit wider track on this car anyway. So yeah, we should fill them arches in quite nicely. They probably look quite cool with the big chubby wheels on there. So that's really great. Great to get them on, and now I'll pop them back off. I've got the other side to do yet. I've done one on the other side. But I've got the rear one to do on the other side yet. I'll put that one on, and then I can roll this shell over. That'll be absolutely awesome, so that I can get some finally, hopefully in the next few days, get some paint on it. Okay guys, we've been at this for about 4 hours now, me and my son. Yeah, making good progress. So we're probably about good halfway there on the floor pan now. That area in the boot was particularly bad, but you can see we've got that back to a fairly clean metal now, so which is really good. So you want it before you put your paint on. So previously someone had painted black paint over the rust, so it just comes straight off. A complete waste of time, but yeah, it's getting there. It's just yeah, it's a really horrible job, but hey, it's all part of it. But yeah, it'd be great to get it all completely clean. Okay guys, that's all the paint off now, so that just leaves me to do all the sanding. You can see there's some areas where there's like surface rust that sits underneath the paint. It's usually where they haven't got enough paint, and it's quite often from factory. So it's really hard to get up in some of those areas up in underneath the wings. So there was never basically enough paint on there, which is quite often why Minis failed at the front. You can see it's not come out too bad. This side's really good. There was one repair that we did up there from the other side. Don't know if you can see that, just in the corner there. That was the same on both sides. But as you can see, there's scuttle there, and it's all in pretty good order. So we've not replaced that. That's how it was. Yep. So, and you can see on underneath here, in this area here, you can just see the sort of browning there. That's actually rust underneath the paint. So yeah, we're going to sand this with 80 grit now all over, scuff it all up, ready for epoxy. I may even give it an acid wash, which gets some of that horrible rust off. It's just another process to go through to try and eliminate the rust underneath the paint. So you can see a couple of repairs there as well that we've done. That one was already done there, but we did this one here. So the floor in this area here was quite bad. It's still a little bend in it, but it was really bowed, quite severe. So I've managed to get most of it out by using heat. You can see where the heat's been on there. So you just basically put a heat on there and that swells up, and then you cool it really quickly, and what happens is it kind of pulls in on itself and it takes out the canning effect and actually pulls the panel back almost flat again. This side's come out really good. It's come out nearly perfect, this side, and this side's probably 100% better than it was, so far more presentable. Right then, let's get out with the 80 grit, get this thing scuffed up, ready for paint. Okay guys, you can see here this has now had a acid wash. So the acid we're using is, they call it a rust converter, but it's actually, if you look on the side of it, it's like phosphoric acid in it. So it actually does a chemical change in the rust and preps it ready for taking paint. But as you're applying it, you can actually see the rust come off. You can see how much cleaner that area is, and you can see it changes the colour of the metal, as opposed to, if you look at the valance there, it's almost like opaque what it does to it, but it just preps it ready for paint. Alright, so we've done that area now, and my son's at the front now. He's doing front wings there and the kickboard. So he's applying the acid with a Scotch pad. Make sure you wear gloves like he is, and then you've got to wash it down.
So I scrub this. You can see the corrosion coming off, as well as turning into more black. If you compare it to the rust here, it's now darkened, showing that it's working.
Yeah, as he explained. So you leave that on for about 3 minutes, and then wash it off with copious amounts of water. We'll just keep wringing out. We're using the rag we're using here is a microporous rag. They're in a bucket of water, so we just keep wringing that out. Wash. You must get all the acid off. Get all the acid off, and then we use another dry rag there to just dry it off. Because if you leave it on there too long, it will go rusty again. Okay. Anyway, let's get this all cleaned up, and then we're ready for paint. Okay guys, so we now sprayed 2 solid coats of epoxy primer over the bottom of the car. So it's come out pretty good. So the next job to do on here now, we'll leave this now till tomorrow morning, and then we'll scuff it all up with some Scotch pads. Then we'll go along all the bulkheads and any other areas around wings and stuff where the A panels meet. We'll run a load of seam sealer through there, and then we'll leave that for a few hours, and then we'll blast on the stone chip. Okay, so this is the next day or the next morning. So I'm using one of these Scotch pads. This is a 0 rated, which is a quite coarse one. So basically, just want to scratch it up. You can see that it's carrying like quite a glossy finish on the paint, and as soon as you rub it with this, it will basically scratch the surface and take away that shine. I don't know if you can see that. So it's more of a massy finish. Yeah, these last quite a long time. These Scotch pads. So this one pad will probably almost do the whole bottom of this car. And if being flexible as well, they'll go around all the contours. So yeah, I don't know if you can actually see how matty that's gone. I mean, I can see it really easy from here, and I can see the scratches in it, but it's not so good on the camera. But yeah, compared to over there, you can see the gloss level. So anyway, I'll scratch the whole base of this, or bottom of this car up, and then we're ready for putting the stone chip on. Okay, so we're pretty much done now. We've scuffed it all up, so now we're going to use a seam sealer, which is basically a cartridge type. So I think they call it a PU sealant, which is basically a polyurethane sealant. So I've just done that little piece down there. So I'll run that all up through the bulkheads. Just a little tip, what you can use is your wax and grease remover. If it clogs up and builds up too much and it looks a bit unsightly, if you spray just a little bit of that in there and smooth it through with a rag, you'll find it will just break down the surface slightly enough to get quite a good finish on it. But yeah, as long as you move fast enough, then so with that there, I just use my finger. So go around and do all that now, and then we can spray the stone chip paint over the top. Okay, so we're now applying a second coat. So the first one we put on really thin. That's like your tack coat, and then the second, you can put a second and third coat on, and we can put this on a lot heavier. And we've opened the gun out a little bit for a bit more texture. So yeah, it's starting to come together now. Okay, that's the bottom of the Mini just about done now. So we put a third coat that we stood right back and sprayed it nice and even to try and get a bit more of a texture on it. So yeah, quite pleased with the result. First time we've actually used this water-based product, and we're just cleaning out the gun. It's really easy to clean out. It's just literally wash out one of the old containers and yeah, just blast water through it. Job done. That's coming out nice and clear now. So yes, it's quite hard to clean those gums out once you've used them for Raptor, but yeah, certainly easier with this stuff. It'd be interesting to see the longevity of it, to see if it stands up to it like the Raptor does, but I can't see why it won't. But okay, this is the following day, so we sprayed it last night. It hasn't stopped raining here for a few days, so the atmosphere is quite damp. It's fairly cold, but apparently you can spray this stuff at quite a cold temperature, so that's not going to affect it, but it is taking a while to actually dry. So it looks fairly grey, but in the areas where it's drier, it's slowly turning black. So hopefully by tomorrow it will all be black. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers for now.